Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new video for you all today. So in today's loot video, I bring you guys loot from 10,000 Gargoyles, and as you can see at the bottom left of the screen, this account is actually kind of new to the loot series. This is not my Iron Man, and this is not my Max main. This is an account that I've had for about 3 years on Old School now, and I've only actually ever done one video on this account before, and that video was loot from 25,000 crystal keys. Previously known as No Sleep Senior or Baby Sleep, I did want to change the username today in honor of the loot video that we're doing to Killin' Gargs, and I pretty much decided that any monster that I make a video on this account, I will be trying to make the username somewhat relatable to that monster. I don't know why, a little bit of creativity, I guess, switch things up a little bit, because I really only expect myself to ever upload maybe 1 to 3 videos a month on this account, because the goal for this account is to choose a very AFK low effort monster to kill, to really just make a very big loot video on, not 1,000, 3,000, or 5,000, more along the lines of 10,000 plus, and maybe even upwards of 50,000. So I'll try to do some unique videos on this account as well, but I wanted to start with something pretty basic for you all today, and that is why I decided to get 75 Slayer on this account and start killing gargoyles, and I wanted to do it in one of the most OG AFKing methods possible. From start to finish, every single gargoyle was killed with full guthans and only guthans. No god sword spec, no smash weapon such as a bludgeon or an abyssal dagger or a hosta or something useful, something that I probably should have brought. Yes, this was all done with full guthans from start to finish, and pretty much the idea behind that was to see just how much money we would spend in armor repairs, by using guthans here, so that we never needed to have food, because if you didn't know, guthans does heal you. It's kind of one of the effects of having the full set on. And also I can make my trips last a very long time, because a big majority of the loot that you get from gargoyles, as I'm sure most of you guys know, is noted and stackable. So you get the gold ore, the mithril bars, the gold bars, the steel bars, as well as the noted pure essence. And then of course, while wearing a ring of wealth from start to finish, you're going to get a lot of coins which do stack up. And of course, the only drops that you have remaining that do stack are the runes. So you have the chaos runes, death runes, and that's pretty much it. So essentially the only times that I was banking, because I never had to get food because of this method, was pretty much whenever my inventory filled up with the only unnoted drops that I did collect, which was the rune ore, the mystic robe tops, and the granite mauls. And throughout this video as well, you will see my character do a lot of high alching, and that is because not only does the gargoyle have a lot of great stackable drops, but they also have a lot of great alchable drops. So to start this grind, I did have 4,000 nature runes and 20,000 fire runes, just to kind of see if I would need to use them all for all the items that we high alked, and we certainly did not even come close to using all of those runes. But nevertheless, it is very important to bring a bunch of high alks here, because you will be getting a lot of unnoted rune items, and even some adamant items, for example legs and boots, which aren't as much as the rune items are, but they are still worth it to high alk. And one of the things that I did not have coming into this video on this account, unfortunately, was a gem bag. So you won't see any uncuts picked up during this video, which are rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and diamonds. But I really don't mind too much. I mean, I might have missed out on like 300k max at the very end of the 10,000 kills just because I didn't have a gem bag. But if you do have one, it is important to bring, because you will get more gems than I got, so it's just extra money to your overall price check. And as seen here, all of the unnoted things that I wasn't high alking or keeping in my inventory from start to finish, I was keeping in its own bank tab. So anytime I got a loot key or a tooth key or any rare, they would just end up in this tab here. And overall, the way I was tracking the amount of kills from start to finish was with the Slayer helmet log. Very simple, all you got to do is right click it, go to log, and scroll all the way to the bottom down to the gargoyles. And since I essentially had 0 kills overall, I pretty much just had to wait till that number hit 10,000, and there you go, I was done. The real question is, how long did this video take to make? And I would say, honestly, I was averaging maybe about 100 kills an hour or less, you know, maybe 80 kills to 100 kills an hour. So this video did take me at least 100 hours to do. You know, it was very slow simply because I was on, you know, 3 accounts at the same time. I've been doing 99 mining on my Iron Man for many months now. And of course, all the normal videos that I upload on Mr. No Sleep, you know, I was always kind of multitasking, mainly Zora, while I was doing this Gargoyle video. So it wasn't really a lot of concentration or attention required, but that's kind of where the efficiency went way down. I'm sure if you were using a bludgeon rather than full Guthans, or even staying potted the whole time, which I wasn't because I was just not paying attention to this account much at all, then you probably could have had double my kills per hour, and I'm sure if you were using max gear, you could probably even get more than that. So keep in mind, this method is not great for efficiency. At the end of the day, I would not recommend this method. You know, full Guthans is of course really useful at Gargoyles, but honestly, I think I would have been fine if I would have just used a bludgeon and a Saradomin Godsword for a special attack weapon. Most of you guys know that SGS does heal you, so I wouldn't really need the heals from Guthans at that point. So what I'm just trying to say is there's many different ways to kill these Gargoyles. There's actually a safe spot too for any low levels that do have 75 Slayer. You can just range these Gargoyles right outside of the room and you won't take any harm. I'd say the only downside to safe spotting Gargoyles is that it does get crowded on weekends, no matter what world you're in. I was using world 520 for most of this video. There was a lot of the time where I was alone, had a lot of privacy, but then there's other times where there's 4 or 5 people there, and that really did get stressful over time. And something also to keep in mind is that there is a task-only area for Gargoyles in the basement of the Slayer Tower in Canifis, but I myself, since I wasn't on task pretty much throughout this whole video, was using the open area, which is all the way at the top of the castle on the 3rd story. So that is something to keep in mind if you are on your Slayer task. And this area is a little crowded because I will admit there is a decent amount of alternate accounts here, and what that essentially means is that there's people that really just camp Gargoyles for money. Maybe they're trying to make a bond happen for their Iron Man account and they just kill Gargoyles a couple hours out of the month. I do know a few people that have done that before. But speaking of Iron Man, you know, the drop tables on these Gargoyles is extremely helpful for Iron Man accounts, you know, especially with the noted pure essence. I mean, by the time we get to the end of the price check, you know, the amount of GP and the amount of resources that these Gargoyles have to offer, especially when you're killing them in such a bulk amount, you know, 1,000 something, but 10,000, that's on a whole nother level, really can progress your account. So you don't have to, you know, stick with Zora or Wyverns to get those pure essence. Gargoyles are a great alternative for that, and especially the steel bars, which can be made into cannonballs, that gold ore, which can be smithed at blast furnace, and of course just the nice amount of runes, you know, 20,000 chaos runes or so almost at this point. And you know, we started the video, as mentioned before, with 20,000 fire runes, and by the end of it we had over 130,000 just from the ground. And the funny part is a lot of people weren't even picking up these fire runes, so you know, there's always going to be fire runes and pure essence on the ground that a lot of people don't pick up that I actually did pick up. And even though pure essence are 1 GP each right now, I figure the cooler the drop tab, the better the video, so I did go out of my way to make sure that I picked up everything on the ground that no one was really picking up. And at the end of the day, I gotta say this was a very chill, very laid back video to do, and I really did enjoy this on a brand new account. You know, I've had maxed 99s on this account minus prayer for quite a few years now. I used to actually use this account for killing Corporal Beast on 2 accounts at the same time, and after I got 2 Elysian splits on this account's name within 100 kills, I figured my luck was about it, and I'd pretty much retire the account. You know, thanks to this loot series, we are back on it, and this was the very first video that hopefully is going to be one of many to come from this account. And I really do hope you guys enjoy everything that you see overall, and make sure to let me know of any ideas that you guys have monster related that you'd like to see, preferably, you know, something that doesn't require a lot of banking and a lot of clicking. That would be the preference right now. Definitely excited to see what videos I'm going to come up with in the future on this account. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the price check of these 10,000 Gargoyles and see just how much money we made in all of these weeks of AFKing. So looking at the overall bank tab, we have about 154 noted rune ore, 34 granite malls, and 16 dark mystic robe tops, as well as 22 mil cash from start to finish, all with that ring of wealth, collecting all the coin drops and overall just the coins that you get from Gargoyles in general. And also we did come out with just about 135,000 fire runes and a decent amount of death runes and chaos runes as well. well. And when you add up every single item, including the coins, into the price check, loot from 10,000 gargoyles does come out to be just about 38.9 mil. Rounded up, I guess you could say 39 mil, so on average, pretty good. I mean, pretty good for just sitting here, really just clicking like a couple times every minute or so. A lot of XP was gained, over 1.5 million attack XP, defense XP, as well as strength. It took about 3 to 4 weeks to complete, and I would say overall in the cost of armor repairs, you're looking at close to about 2.5 mil. So, you know, you can save money on that if you use a player-owned house rather than the NPC and Lumbridge, so that is something to keep in mind. Again, all of the gear and all of the weapons that you use at Gargoyles is up to you. I went with the most simplistic setup you can possibly come up with, and it worked out pretty well for me. So yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys took away something from this video. Maybe try out Gargoyles on a side account, make some money for some bonds on the side, or just try them out in general. Yeah, with all that being said, I really do appreciate you guys watching the video. Thank you very much for your time and all of your support, and until next time, Mr. No Sleep out.